Missy Elliot, born July 1st, 1971. When I first started this, there were a few musicians I said I'd never feature, as they either had a huge impact on my life, or on the surface, it seemed no way they could have not reached their potential, seeing all they accomplished in their careers. It's like featuring Michael Jordan, the greatest athlete ever. How, right? But what if Michael Jordan never left the game in the middle of his prime the first time? What if management didn't force his hand, causing him to leave early a second time? What if the Bulls stayed together and ran it back a few more times? What could 8 championships look like today instead of 6? 5 unnecessary years in total away from the game. That's at least 4 more chips. 10 for Michael would have made him unreachable. Today's feature, like 50 Cent, Nas, Andre 3000, I thought I'd never have to say they didn't quite reach their potential, even though their run was so great. Missy in the early 2000s was lit, as they say today. Every time she dropped musical works, you knew if nothing else, it would be quality and probably something you never seen before. As far as her actual skill, she was one of the girls we said back in the day she could rap with the boys and still be just as fire. The only rapper I know that could rap saying nothing or in reverse and it still be the most fire bars ever, like she did on the song Work It, that I should be ashamed to know at least the ending to every bar of that song. For us back in 2002, Missy was the Kendrick Lamars and the Tyler the Creators creatively with how much she attempted to push the boundaries. She didn't have to rely on selling her body just to have a flash in the pan hit song, or like some female rappers today that leave nothing to the imagination and still never get that record. Missy, on the other hand, revealed literally nothing and couldn't miss. She's released 6 studio albums in her career and has went platinum every time. Countless awards like Best Female Artist, Dance Awards for Best Video, Best New Artist, Visionary, Collaborations, Top R&B and Hip Hop Songs, Grammy Awards, and many more. She's even won awards as a director. Missy Elliot was nothing short of a legendary hip-hop artist that had much more years dominating her genre and expanding a career that surprisingly only lasted from 97 to 2005 in albums released and a finger on the pulse of female rap. While everyone else was trying to be sexy, Missy just had talent. I often wonder what would Missy Elliott's career look like had these things not happened. Salute to the Apex for this request. Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it.
Y'all ready to keep this thing moving?
Missy Elliot is a rapper from Portsmouth, Virginia that knew since kindergarten she wanted to be a hip-hop artist. She often told her classmates she was going to be a star and they'd all laugh. She wrote entire songs on her bedroom walls and worked on music and dance endlessly in her room, mostly to escape the abuse at home to her and her mother from her father that drove the two to get on a bus and escape the rain against her window. Missy's big break came in '93 when she entered her first Billboard Top 100 song written for Raven-Symoné. She released music through her 4-girl R&B group Sister at the time, before branching off and continuing work with producer Timbaland, who was also a part of a collective Missy began with. In '96, together along with the late Aaliyah on her sophomore album 1 in a Million, her work there led to a record deal with Elektra, and by '97 she released her debut album Super Duper Fly, still to me one of the dopest album titles ever. It went platinum in 2 months, which was unheard of in those days for female rappers. It also had my favorite Missy song of all time, The Rain, featuring production from Timbaland. Missy had it all as a true artist, versatile in her expression. You just wish that could have continued. Stunt number 1, Fighting the Standard.
Missy was a heavy-set girl. That wasn't what the cameras was looking for.
The first growth stunt Elliot had to overcome was the beauty standard for women in entertainment that's been around since the beginning. In the mid-90s, female artists came and went because for most of them, all they had was the over-sexualization of their bodies. So much so that it was expected if you wanted to survive the times, you had to show a little skin to do so. So times for Missy was rough when she moved to New York with hopes to be a star. She literally had music execs say to her, "You have the singing and songwriting ability, but you're too tubby for a singer." With her confidence initially accepting those harsh words, she wrote and sold songs to other artists behind the scenes until she and Timbaland began working with Aaliyah, producing her hit song "One in a Million" that changed Missy's life and showed while she wasn't half clothed like other female artists, she could make great music that could not only sell but changed the rap and beauty standards for females to follow. It's funny because in hindsight, females in music today seem to have totally went the opposite way, when now you can't sell records of any kind without showing everything that bounced or not, which makes Missy Elliott that more timeless. Eventually, the music industry caught on, and at least for her, she broke the barrier that hip-hop would have to accept, that her talent and creativity was an asset that could really move the genre forward. Had she have a longer lasting career, that leadership could have done wonders for today's females in music. Super Duper Fly went platinum, followed by 5 straight platinum albums by 2005. Her 2002 Under Construction being her best-selling album to date, featuring her most successful song Work It and features from the hottest artists in the game. She's one of the female artists in history that consistently fought the beauty standard and won, simply letting the art speak for itself. Stunt number 2, Life-Threatening Disease. The biggest growth stunt Missy Elliott had to overcome was learning she had an autoimmune condition called Graves' disease that rarely is naturally life-threatening, but Elliott found out while driving and having her legs shake so much that she couldn't hold the brake and almost crashed her car. She was diagnosed with the disease for the first time in 2008 and dealt with all the symptoms and side effects of medication, not to mention radiation treatments that all left her physically and mentally drained. She later stated in 2018 that the 10-year effect of her condition made it difficult to perform simple daily tasks she was programmed to do, like lifting a pen to write music, much less finding her way to a studio to record for hours. After battling being a female in a male-dominated rap genre to the beauty standards and expectations of females to sell sex, she was now fighting for her life, all while the music came less and less, to the point by 2010 hitting, she was being forgotten. In 2022, you'd be hard-pressed to find fans that aren't of a certain age who remember Missy's music and the impact she had on hip-hop, even if it was shorter lived than expected. Stunt number 3, an undefeated battle. As if the previous battles weren't enough, Missy, because of her not being physically able to do music, entered a battle with time. Time, of course, when it comes to artists not being a presence in music, is undefeated. No matter how good you are or how well you've done when you were hot, no artist cannot release music for the time Elliott missed and remain in position. Yes, you can create timeless music that the ones who witnessed your run can go back to and reminisce, but as fast as music moves and began to move in Missy's prime, it made it hard for her to continue growing until one point she became a thing of the past. Not a bad thing in the past, because I still hold Missy to this day as the best female rapper of all time as far as talent. No female rapper could do what Missy did, from her music to visuals to producing, songwriting, and the strength she represented for women who cared about bodily respect. But time got the best of the tail end of her career, and it didn't end like many expected. All in all, Missy Elliott overcame a lot. She was an exciting artist every time she released and has the respect of her peers and the fans of her generation. She stayed true to herself and should be remembered as one of the few real artists that in music and entertainment, there's nothing she couldn't do. Salute to Missy Elliott, much respect. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.